I tell people that Olamide has songs that if he's not going to record from now for the next 10 years, we have songs to be dropping in fact, albums to be dropping every year, and those songs will still make sense. I'm trying to do a lot of things that I dreamt of doing when I was younger that I couldn't afford to do. I'm doing some of them right now, which is why the album that I'm dropping, I'm calling it Unfinished Business, because I still have some business that I yet to have finished that I need to quickly sort. The people that doesn't believe that I'm a Christian the most are Christians. No, there are people that struggles with the way God moves. We can say all of that, especially with something that is trending online now as regards Gaze Baba and Lawrence Oyor's no turning back. My faith does not clash with my music, but there are times that the things that I'm required to do within the industry is going to have a negative impact on my belief system. I don't think there is any, but if there is any, probably a feature. Yeah. There's a feature that I would have loved to have that I wish that if the artist can actually calm down, you understand, calm down with his nuisance value. There were songs that I produced that he did, and I will still say it here, just to answer your question, that I was the one that produced that my name was not on. Hi guys, my name is Cabasa and this is my exclusive interview on IP TV. Personally, I'm not a foodie. I just go with the vibes. Anyone that I'm feeling, I feel. So if there is a food that I feel most times that I don't really get wrong, will be plantain. Yes, plantain. So and I can't just say it's plantain. Let's see, which food? So let's say jollof rice and plantain. Jollof rice comes with a lot of ingredients. So if I'm going to describe my music journey, you are going to have debates about the kind of sound that I've made over the years. There were times that we were making jollof, in a certain way. You have the concussion jollof too, you have the Ghanaian jollof, you have every type of jollof. And when you look at the amount of ingredients that actually gets into them, that versatility, let me use that word, definitely describes my music journey. And if there is anybody that I would want to have to be on this particular journey, I think I had a couple of them, the likes of Nice, the likes of Olamide, Reminisce and co. But if there's somebody that I would still want to taste out of that jollof, be Burna. People rarely tell me any myths about my music. Yeah, sometimes when people say some things like, I've gotten several sort of nickname that is always funny to me. When people call me Magic Finger, probably because of the way I play the piano. And I know that I'm not the best of pianists you will stumble on, but probably there is one thing that people don't really know that happens to be my major musical instrument, which is actually the trumpet. I play all of the horns, the brass family equipment, and I also play the woodwind, which is saxophone, oboe, and all of those other guys. So most people don't actually see that part of me, because most of the time when I produce music, I produce playing the piano. So a lot of people have the perception that it's just a pianist, but I'm much more than a pianist. Well, nervous is, I won't say nervous, but I would say there is a bit of fear that comes with it. Anybody that tells you that they drop their music without, especially if you have achieved something previously, probably you have dropped a hit song or you have dropped something that people have really loved or they've also criticized, there is always that part of how are they going to receive it. So we all come with that fear. But what we do to overcome that fear is to fear less. You understand? We have less of that fear and just go all out. And sometimes, let me use my own opinion, is to know that there will definitely be people that will take what you are going to give, then people that will not take what you want to give. So the equation lies on you that will you say because of the few that are not going to take what you want to give, you will not give stuff to the ones that is going to take it. So fear comes with it, but we do it fearlessly. I don't think there is any, but if there is any, probably a feature. Yeah, There's a feature that I would have loved to have that I wish that if the artist can actually calm down, you know what I'm saying, calm down with his nuisance value and we do music together. I'm sure that music, because I actually like the sound of this particular artist, whom I'm not going to mention the name. I like his sound, I like his creativity, but what I can't just deal with is the nuisance value of it. Like I said, I'm not going to mention the name. It could be anybody that is inside my mind I don't want to let out. So let's keep it there. Okay, I think it was in Qatar. And it was, well, there was one in Qatar, then there was one in Europe from a white dude actually. You know, most times when I'm in the UK, you see Nigerians, they recognize you and all of that, but that one is common anytime I travel. But getting a white guy come to me, not just because of music, but seeing me on podcast and started saying all sorts of things, that for me was huge, yeah. So my music journey did not start in the 80s. My music journey started probably mid-90s as I was about leaving secondary school and all of that. And over the years, I've been influenced by several of the top legends that we actually have in the music space as at then. The likes of Fela Anikulapo Kuti, King Sunny Ade, Ebenezer Obey, the Barrister, the Kollington. Then even Wasiu Ayinde too I was influenced majorly by what we call popular sound then, pop sound as you refer to them now. Then also there were also guys that were doing the English pop kind of music too that I was also listening to. I had, you know, the other time that I was saying I'm like jollof rice, that it's wide. I was listening to pop sound from cultural pop sound. I was also listening to the likes of Orit Willie Key, you know, all of those guys too. Then there was also the part of me, which was, I still tell people is the major part of my influence, the church. I was lucky to be an Anglican by my dad's side, then to be a Celestian from my mom's side. That means I had a combination of getting to have affiliation to classical music, and at the same time from the Celestial Church of Christ, I was able to really be able to study the roots of, you know, the cultural music that we do here, and especially as a Yoruba boy. So those were my influences. But if you say in terms of what really shaped the sound that I'm doing now, I also listened a lot to a lot of guys abroad. Dr. Dre was my first inspiration. Dr. Dre was the thing for me. Through Dr. Dre, I got to know about Stuart Scott, who happens to be the pianist. You hear all of those that was Stuart Scott. The same guy was on a lot of 50 Cent songs and all of that. Then later I fell in love with Timbaland. Then in Nigeria here, OJB Jezreel was major. Laolu Akins, a lot of people might not know who Laolu Akins is. Laolu Akins is the legend of the legends, sincerely. Laolu Akins was the one behind Shina Peters, Afro Juju and all of that. And a couple of, you know, Nelson Brown and all of these guys, I also listened to them and I was also inspired by what they were doing then. So. Music has gone beyond you just being talented. In fact, for you to succeed and survive as a musician, there's a need for you to understand that music is both the music business and the business of music. One is concerned with you making music, which comes from the place of giftings. The other is concerned about you exploiting the music and making monies from the music that you make, which comes from the place, not of gifts, but of proper learning and skillfully understanding the music business. Aside from the fact that I'm an economics, that helps me to understand some of the terms. It also helps me to make decisions. Coded Tunes came as a product of several other stuff that we've done. Before Coded Tunes was Smiling Head Soldier, which was ridden by my dearest friend, Too Fat. Babanla. It was from Smiling Head Soldiers, which was just me, Too Fat, Sparko, Lord of Ajasa was in it, then few other young guys. Then we didn't really have a studio. We just had a system and all of that inside the house, home studio. So we were just creating music that we love. We had common things that actually brought us together. Then we have some guys coming from Yaba area, Alagumeji, the likes of Reminisce, the likes of Alash, the likes of Late Medley, and some other guys. They call themselves the Yap Town Squad. Yeah, so we had the Yap Town Squad come join. And I was the focal point, I was the guy that was creating music for everybody. I was the one that owns the studio. It was my house, so everybody was coming in. So there was a need for us to actually expand and start something new. That was how Coded Tunes was battered. And what informed the name Coded Tunes was people were coming to me beyond my guys that surrounded me. Then there was something strange to them as regards this kind of sound that I was creating. To me, it was not strange. All I was doing, I was mixing the kind of hip hop that you have in the mainstream with our local sound. That was what I was doing then. That people felt that, these things are different, they are this. So they started calling me, and I was the quiet guy, so they started calling me Coded Tunes. So that was why we adopted the name Coded Tunes. So for most times, I think I've explained this severally online, that the goal of Coded Tunes was not just to have artists that are blowing up. It's not just to have artists that are successful. The goal was for us to have artists that are great. I would say that we had a plan for greatness, because the goal for me too was to be great. It was not just to be another producer that will produce everybody. People will shout your name now. Then the next thing, you fizzle out. When people remember you, oh, that guy, no, that was not the goal. The goal was to create a system that, yes, you will succeed in yourself, but other people too will find the expression in succeeding in. And it was something that we taught amongst ourselves, which is why sometimes when you listen to the interviews of some of my other guys, the likes of Ola and Nice and Remy and Co., you keep hearing them saying that it can't stop with them. When Nice was singing Straight Credibility, people thought Nice was just confessing it to himself. It was more to everybody that one day we will come home with Grammy, and definitely we are coming home with Grammy now. So I looked at the likes of Nice, I looked at the likes of Nice. I knew something unique was all about this guy when I heard the voice. Same thing with Olamide. In fact, Reminisce was the first person that I fell in love with, because he was the first person that I recorded the whole album for. And same goes for every other person. But the seed of greatness is actually a potential that everybody sees when you start, but you need to work it. And I thank God today that when I see what Olamide is doing, and I see what Nice is doing, I see what Remy, and see what the other guys do, from Seriki to Jabless, not necessarily in music. When I see what they are doing for the culture, the Afrobeat culture, I'm always happy that this is definitely that story that we want to create. We don't just want to create the story of people that will come, then we will do stuff, we will be successful, we will make money, then people will stop talking about it. No, that system has been created. That same greatness created the likes of Ashake, Fireboy, Joe Boy, some of these other guys that came through that, that tree. So there are many times that what I want to do is negating decisions that I have to make, you understand? Because, or rather, who I want to be is negating the decisions that I want to make. But one thing that I've learned over the years in making all of these decisions is I don't just make decisions because the decision is either good or bad. I make them because they are needful. This was something I had to learn the hard way. Because sometimes we try to be nice, and being nice is not a fruit of the spirit. Even nice, I'm not sure it's nice. So a lot of times we try to be nice, we are considering what people will say, how people will feel, and all of those things. But those things, they don't really help us to do the needful. So over the years, I've made decisions that I was trying to be nice. I've made decisions about just trying to help people without thinking. That's really got me burnt. But over the years too, I've learned to make decisions based on the needful. And this, sincerely, I've not really regretted. I would have pushed more of my brand too, because I was this guy that never wanted people to see my face. I didn't want anybody to know me. I just want to be behind the scene, do music and go home. make the little change I can make. But right now, having hindsight, I would say that probably as much as I want to be behind the scene, I should have been promoting the brand, more and have it sort of visibility. For people saw me later. For a long time, they didn't see me. Probably I would have changed that part of me. So I won't say other people did not hear them, but the problem was they didn't believe in what they heard. So I love to hear the depth that you have. Depth in terms of, can you do beyond one song and still make sense? And for Nice worked with me as an engineer. First song Nice brought to me, which was was sweet, melodious, and had so much depth in the Yoruba cultural language. Then the next song he brought was way better than the first one. Third song he brought, that for me showed that this is a guy that can be consistent with, giving us stuff like this. The same thing applies to Olamide. I tell people that Olamide has songs that if he's not going to record from now for the next 10 years, we have songs to be dropping in fact, albums to be dropping every year, and those songs will still make sense. So it was that depth that I was looking for, then the ability to adapt. Both of them had it. If anybody has listened to Olamide's first album, you will see that we were playing with all sorts of sound. We were playing with hip-hop, we were playing with, the pop, Afro-pop then we were playing with all sorts. Until date, you could still see that with Olamide today. He's rapping tomorrow, he's singing tomorrow, he's trying to do like a fun kind of thing. So that versatility is also something that I look out for. There are several of such. There are songs that I produced that today, and I will still say it here, just to answer your question, that I was one that produced that my name was not on. And it's not the fault of those artists. Like I said, there were stuff that I did that didn't really align with what I was feeling at some point. I wouldn't say I regretted doing that then, because I actually loved the fact that that song became big and some people got to know I actually produced it. So there are a couple of songs that are out that actually became big that people did not know I actually produced. None of them. I didn't regret not taking credit for any of them. Then too, by the way, there was no streaming, so it was not that I was going to make money. Probably if I was going to, if it was now, I don't have to put my name there. All I just need to do is to make sure that the system recognizes that I produced the song and the song is making money for me, so no regrets. So my younger self was broke. My younger self did not have all the equipment that I have now. I think if my younger self should walk into the studio right now with what I have, my younger self will do way much more than whatever I did then. My younger self will definitely, and this question is actually a bit personal to me now because I'm trying to do a lot of things that I dreamt of doing when I was younger that I couldn't afford to do. I'm doing some of them right now, which is why the album that I'm dropping, I'm calling it Unfinished Business, because I still have some business that I yet to have finished that I need to quickly sort. So for my kids, I have my firstborn who is also interested in art. She wants to act. I try as much as possible to talk to my kids. And I also kids don't really do what you tell them to do. You can't really shape the destiny of your kids from what I've learned. People can actually argue it. But what I know I can do, which is what I'm doing very well, is to create an environment that actually inspires them to do better in life. I think I can architect the environment better in such a way that everything they see around them actually inspires them to do better, to love God more, which is number one, the number one value, for them to love God and to believe in God, then for them to be better human beings, not just for them to be religious, but for them to be very spiritual. Then I also make sure I create a creative environment where you can be all that you want to be. I'm not the type of parent that corrects you because I don't like a thing, I will correct you for what is wrong. And the way I correct my kids, I have conversations with them in such a way that I will ask you questions to the point that you will get to the point of what I'm trying to say. I didn't regret giving it away, but I loved that beat like mad. Shayo Durella. I didn't regret that. Durella actually did justice to it, but that beat was I'm a hip hop head, so that beat was a beat, yeah. Number one, Gongwaso. The song that I was rooting for, I'm sure some of the people close to me, they know the story. I was rooting for Photocopy. Photocopy was the song for me. Photocopy had guitars, had all of that. Gongwaso was me just vibing. Not that I didn't know that Gongwaso beat was going to be great and blow up, but I had more expectation from Photocopy. Nobody will tell you the insecurity on camera. What makes us are the things we hide. But over the years, I can tell you how I deal with my insecurities. Anybody that I see doing anything that I like, I get close to them. I get close to them. I love that. I'm saying this thing from my spiritual learning. That get close to them, love them, celebrate them. In no time, that insecurity will fizzle out. What I've also noticed is when I celebrate them genuinely, they get to tell me some things to actually do, to get to know what they are doing. Probably I will be acting. That was actually my first love, acting. As a small boy in Celestial Church of Christ, I was more into the drama thing, acting and doing all of those things. I wanted to act. If it was not acting, I was a good footballer. Left it too bad. I was in I finished from St. Finbar's College, Akoka, and I played for the junior team, I played for the senior team till I left, secondary school. Even when I went to serve, I still played football a bit with Lobby Star and all of that. So either of those two. I don't need to say it. People that follow me online, they know which club I would have played for. Thank God we qualified for Champions League without saying the name of the club. And thank God we've won all the trophies. My faith does not clash with my music, but there are times that the things that I'm required to do within the industry is going to have a negative impact on my belief system. What I do most times, I check it that, is it my spirituality that is telling me not to do this thing, or is just another religious bias? I've dropped a major project, all in the name of this thing does not align with what I believe in. I am working on an album as I speak. There's a song, that song would have been the biggest song on this particular Imagine series that I'm doing, that I had to, in fact, it took a lot of prayer and work for the artists themselves to agree that we don't put the song on because of the carnality and a lot of things that were on it, which will not really do well for what I brought. And my faith is not just being a religious folk. My faith definitely supports human development. And that is the part of the secular part. Then there's also the part that the people that doesn't believe that I'm a Christian the most are Christians. There are people that struggles with the way God moves. We can see all of that, especially with something that is trending online now as regards Gaze Baba and Lawrence Oyor's no turning back, where you see all of those comments. I'm a Christian, so I still stand with the faith, so I wouldn't want to dwell much on it. Where we want to determine how God will use people, how God will move with people, we define our Christianity by the way we dress, by the way we do our hair, by the way we relate with other people, the people we relate with and all of that. But since that was, I keep saying that if you read your Bible and you follow the spirituality of the Bible, you will not get yourself caught up in religious battles, arguments, or cultural and traditional stuff that you find inside the Bible. You won't get yourself caught in between them. You just know you are doing the work of the Lord, and God will be blessing you. SIM, SIM card. That M should be media. Syria, whatever. I don't know. Information. That looks like information. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Africa, Asia, Europe, America. America, they are all together now. No South, no. Okay, there's South. I think there are like 7. Japan don't use yen. Which people use yen? I think that's China. I don't know. I've not been to Japan. Senegal. Analog 247. But I would rather mix them. But analog. Both. I actually love doing both, but build a sound from scratch. TED Talk. Timeless classic. This one is hard. Because I wish I could do both. 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 That goes to. I'll take the 100 million. Kalagbo, that is Kiss Daniel. Saro Roposa. No, this is not La. I don't know. That's Rema. Your body, there's something. Yeah. Modupe. If I don't get that one, they should shoot me. That King Sunny Ade. I don't to prove. I don't have anything to prove. The only thing now that is left for me is to keep shining. Keep doing what I do. Wake up every day. Look out for ways to make the world a better place. But if it is in terms of what people see, in terms of affirmation and all of that, no, I get it from within. You can't learn essence on YouTube. You can learn what will make you popular on YouTube. You can learn how to make music on YouTube, but you can't learn becoming a man of character that will last beyond what you are doing on YouTube. So I would just say this, that probably they should learn building character, you understand, then get to really find their identity beyond who they are to whose they are. There is no final contribution for me, but the contribution is to make sure that the culture is always in the conversation. I'm scared that the way Afrobeat is going, we will lose the essence of it because of the people paying us, because of our selfishness to just be popular and be the ones that is known. So if there is anything I want to be involved in, which is so definitely a continuous thing, it's never going to be a final thing or whatever, is to make sure that in all of this conversation, the name of Nigeria is not removed from the conversation, then our culture is glaring within the conversation. Hi guys, my name is Cabasa, and that was my exclusive interview with IP TV. And IP TV, keep doing as well, and people don't touch that, keep watching.
As an accomplished man,
I'm not really accomplished. It's only a dead man that is accomplished.
I mean, relatively, your name can be mentioned and everybody just dismiss you just like that. So,
information, it looks like information. I don't know, I'm just guessing.
There's a lot of X now on your response.
Yes, I don't know, I'm just guessing.
Alright, so it's actually subscriber identity mode. Option is called this or that. So you have to pick. I'll give you like 2 options. Then you pick one out of 2. Okay.
There's no gun on my head.
There's no gun on your head. So free will.